Hey everyone, this is Pastor Chris coming to you live. I am seeing some technical difficulties on the screen, but we're going to keep pressing on and seeing how things are going. I see that there's been an interruption, so I'm going to see if the connection is still good and if we're still going. It looks like it is, but I'm going to delay and just kind of say, hey, welcome. It is March the 23rd. I am glad that you are here. If you are here with me today, I'm glad that you are here. And it's good to be bringing this broadcast to you. Today, again, is March the 23rd, 2021. How in the world are you doing today? If you're out there with the program and with the show, please make sure you sign in. Let us know you're here with us again. If there are any technical difficulties, I'll come back on as soon as I possibly can. I'm trying to see if there are people out there right now actually on, and if it looks like I am live. It looks like it is going out. It looks like things are being broadcast. So I'm going to continue to press on. Again, we are on Caster. So if you're with us out there, we should be going out on multiple locations through Facebook and YouTube and on Twitch. And you can join us anytime you'd like to by going to our website at lpbconline.org. And you can sign in the menu section. You can pull that down and you can find live stream. And we're always on at any time that the broadcast is going out. So anyway, I'm looking at, it looks like a couple of times this has cut in and out. It looks like I am on right now live, but there's a huge delay in this. I have no idea what's going on. I've got it live fed right now. So hopefully we have taken care of the problems and you can join me live right now. Again, at facebook.com/Pastor Chris McCombs, or you can also go to Facebook at Lexington Park Baptist or YouTube channels in any of those places. And we should be, again, going out live. So I hope you're with me. I'm trying to find out, I'm trying to get to the page and make sure that everything's good and we're actually going out live right now. So if you're out there, please sign in so I know everything's going well right now and make sure that you were on the program. So are you out there? Anybody else out there? Man, this is complicated today. I am going into this blind. I cannot see if there are people actually on the program or not right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just talk like, in fact, you're on the program with me right now. So how are you doing today? Again, welcome to Word of Encouragement. Welcome to our program today. I hope today is finding you blessed. And believe it or not, we are a year into this thing. So it was about a year ago that we had COVID hit us. And if you remember those days and times, it was telling us that we had to do 2 weeks of stopping the curve, whatever that might look like, right? Like, hey, remember that, let's do 2 weeks of shutting down everything and not being able to do anything at all. And there was so much uncertainty and there were so many things going on in life that nobody knew what was going to happen. And COVID hit us. I think most people never thought in their lifetime they would have a pandemic like unto this one. But here we are. And the pandemic's real. And we are still in the midst of it. As we used to think, again, 2 weeks turned into, what did 2 weeks turn into? Oh my goodness. It turned into this huge thing. So anyway, if you're out there and you want to join me today, I'm going to open the lines. So if you know my cell phone number, I'm in the dark on this. I don't know if I'm online or not, but if you're out there and you want to call in today and tell us about what you experienced, about what COVID was like for you, how have you grown spiritually through this? And I don't know how you have grown. I can only speak for myself, and I'm prepared to share and you know, give examples of what God has done to me. I know that I can see that Carla did write in, and she said, you know, that look, you know, it caused me to slow down. It caused me to appreciate my family and church more. You know, so today is really about what did COVID do? How did it change you? How did it make you a better person? So also through Corona, we've learned to appreciate family and faith and church and so many things we've learned to appreciate because of COVID. So I think as I look back at this, I can remember this time of year a year ago. You know, church is shut down. There's just, you know, is people going to die? You know, you hear people, they're talking like it's going to be like, you know, World War II. There's going to be so many deaths, you know, and you don't know who to believe or what to believe. And there's so much that's just so uncertain out there, right? And so anyway, I'm not seeing anybody out there. So I tell you what I'm going to do. If you're out there, I need somebody to call into the show. I know Carla and the Hepplers are the only two people that I've seen that have signed in at one time in the program. So if I'm actually live online, I need one of you all to contact me right now. I need somebody to call into the program to share what they have learned, the blessings of what COVID brought to their lives, because nothing on any program seems to be showing that I am live right now. So anyway, I am hooked up. I am going through. It seems like I am live, but I'm just reaching out to you. If you're out there and you're watching the program, somebody call in and be the first person on the show to tell us how, you know, what did you do during Corona? How did it affect you? How did it bring you closer to the Lord? Again, today's program is all about that. So again, I'm trying to see if I don't have anybody call me here in the next few minutes. I'm going to come off and come right back on and try to reset the program. So something could have been happening outside, you know, on Metrocast and it kicked me off. But right now it's not showing up on any of the Facebook pages. So that's concerning, that potentially, you know, that the program's not going out. So again, I hate to ramble. If I am online, nobody's calling in. So I'm going to assume the worst here. And I'm going to assume that it's not being broadcast. So I'm going to go off and come right back on. Okay. Okay, everybody, I'm back with you. This is Pastor Chris coming to you at PC Studios from Lexington Park Baptist Church. I hope that you're out there. Again, with technical difficulties and things that were taking place, I had to cut off the program and cut back into the program. So if you're out there with me today, go ahead and sign in again. Today is going to be about how Corona or COVID, right, was a blessing to us. And how COVID affected your life and how it brought you closer to the Lord. So we're going to look at that. So anyway, if you're with us, we're on Facebook.com / Pastor Chris McCombs. If you want to be on the program live, that's where you need to be right now. We're also on Lexington Park Baptist. We're also going out caster onto YouTube and various channels. We're also lppbconline.org. You can go to our menu section and you can pull down live stream and see us anytime there. So I'm going to give time for people to show up. Again, apologize. I really have no idea. I no longer use Wi-Fi. I'm hardwired into the internet, but you know, sometimes things happen. So if you're out there talking about Corona blessings, how has this last year, COVID-19, affected you? And how's it been a blessing? So what I want us to, so you can write that down on the side, and when I was on the air earlier, people were writing, you know, I'm closer to my family. I appreciate my church more. My faith is increased. But, you know, I'm looking for like specific things because it was about a year ago this day, this time frame, where everything in America was shutting down. We knew it was coming. If you remember, we saw the numbers. Italy was really bad off, and there was just uncertainty. There was people talking about this is everybody's going to die. They were talking in ways that the virus was so bad that it was going to be like World War II. And thank God those things were not true, and thank God. But you remember, we all needed to lock ourselves in to stop the curve, right? To kill the curve, to stop that, to slow it down. And we thought it was only going to be for 2 weeks. And here we are a year later. And most of us are not in lockdown anymore and haven't been for a while and have had some freedoms and some parameters to where we've been able to do things. But it's been hard on most of us. Some of us have been isolated. Some of us have self-quarantined ourselves. Some of us have gone out and lived just life normal. And some of us have been working through the whole time. Some of us have lost our jobs. Some of us know people that have died or have gotten the coronavirus. I mean, in fact, if you don't know somebody that's died or has gotten the coronavirus, you're very fortunate, because that'd be very rare, because many of us have. And now we're dealing up to the point where we're on vaccines, and many of us have started getting our vaccines. In fact, I saw today I think 25% of the nation now has had at least one shot, and about 13% are fully vaccinated. So thank God for Warp Speed by President Trump. Thank God for that. Thank God that we're trying to push this out. We have trying to bring this thing to an end. But as we've gone through this journey, I want you to know that plagues and pestilence and disease, they're throughout the scriptures. So tomorrow we're going to talk about Psalm 91, but in full, but because I read that a long time ago. But today I do want to read, Psalm 91:10, just verse 10. No harm will come to you, no plague will come near your tent. We know the Psalms, David's writing in general terms here, but no harm will come to you, no plague will come to your tent. Now listen, Christians get sick. Christians have died from this. The plague has come to some of our tents, but overall we know that the Lord is with us. And God's reminding us that he can take care of us, even in moments of plagues and things like this. And this could have been worse. This is the worst thing I've seen in my lifetime. It's crippled economies. It's done a lot of bad things, right? People have died. People have gotten the illness. I've got relatives that have died from it. I have relatives that have been severely injured or hurt or lost. I mean, some had to have legs and hands and toes cut off. And again, we've seen people that have gotten really sick and struggled coming back from it, and there's some that have gotten it and not had any issues. So there's been all kinds of stuff that's happened. But I don't want to focus on those things. I want to focus in the midst of all this, what God did for you, how God used this for you. I've got 2 lines open. You can call in if you would like to share. If not, you can type it in. Again, we're live right now on Facebook.com/Pastor Chris McCombs, and that's where I'm monitoring. So if you want to write in, you can write in on that page, and we'll know that you're here. But I saw people writing about their family, and I think back of the uncertainty of what happened and not knowing what was going to happen, that my family became very crucial to me personally. And I realized, Joshua, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. My family took that very seriously. We stepped up to the plate for the church, and one of the great joys for me would be remembering Savannah coming in every week and recording the sermon with me. That was her job. But then also remembering every week coming in on Tuesday nights and worshiping God to an empty sanctuary to record the music, and then working with Greg Mabry to put that together. So my family and different people I grew close to. I can remember as a church the blessing of outdoor worship, where we would all go out and we would worship outside, and it was a good experience for the church and the community. I can remember praying through uncertainty, not knowing what was going to happen, and not knowing what tomorrow would bring. It was very unnerving. I can remember walking the streets with Shawnetta, and Macy would often join us, and occasionally Savannah might, and Samuel might have gone out occasionally. And we would walk, and there'd be no cars, hardly any traffic on the road around here. Now it's crazy. It's back to normal again, pretty much. And I just remember that unsettledness, that unnerved, that uncertainty. And but that uncertainty was not bad. It created this sense of greater faith in me, a sense of, God, I got to hunker down and get through this with you. God, I've got to. I got to give you my all. I got to serve. I'm here for the church. I'm here for you, Lord. I've got to be here for my people. I've got to be here, for my family. And there was still this what if, right? But it did allow it allowed me to grow closer to the Lord. Even to this day now, I devote more time to devotion reading, and more committed in the morning to make sure that I keep up with current events, and I keep up with spiritually with the Lord, and I prayer journal and different things that I had in my life but were more rushed. And now I just, if I come into work at 9 or 10, I come into work at 9 or 10. I take that time as long as I need to with the Lord. So spiritually, I think I'm going to look back at Corona and COVID and say, God gave me an opportunity to worship the Lord and to draw closer to him, and gave me a family. I can remember family meals. We already had family meals, but we also upped our game in how we ate. If we could go, we spent more money on food this year. We would buy salmon, or we bought lamb. I mean, I would grill out. I mean, there were things that I did because we weren't going out to dinner. We would eat really well at home. So I can remember that. I can remember when I first traveled and went to Virginia. We got a little cabin and isolated. It was the uncertainty of that too, right? But ended up being a great thing for my family to get out and spend the 4th of July weekend at a place. And again, I talked about this with the church though, but seeing the church, and the church still has not come back fully. It's, how do I know who are the people going to come back? How do you know who your flock is? How do you know the health of the body of Christ? How can you even get a pulse on that? How can you build up one another? How can you connect with your community during this? It's been complicated. But through it, the challenge of that, again, my faith in my family and many in the church have risen to the occasion. Doing things with my staff. I'm much more appreciative of my staff, of the many people that give and volunteer and do so much things. Been in the worship team. Have just been amazing. The AV team, and I'm grateful. Word of encouragement is a product of COVID. It's something I will look back, whether this continues or whether it stops. The frustrations today. And think about it. We've been pretty smooth sailing on technology until just today. And I have no idea. Again, everything's working fine, and then bam, it decides to quit. But I think of this ability to do this, and it's all because of what God has done. I give him all the glory and praise. I think, for my kids being at home for school, I mean, yes, kids need to go out and go to school and be a part of it, but for us, it was a blessing. For us, it was a good thing. We were all together. Savannah learned online, and so did Macy and Samuel, do everything digitally. But it was really, really a good time. So what I'm trying to share is, in the midst of a plague, in the midst of this virus, in the midst of this pandemic, there were so many blessings. Now, some people missed it. Some people got caught up into, and I got pulled into it, the mask and not mask, the come back to church, not come back. And, churches made their own decisions. We made our decisions. I think we walked and did the right things. And I applaud the leadership of the church for doing the right things. And, some people didn't understand that. Those things were hurt. There was some hurt. I also learned that people will abandon ship. I learned some new hurts through this. I learned and saw some people leave the church throughout this. And those things did hurt me. They were painful. It was painful to watch people turn on you because you believed, because you supported your government, Romans 13. But also at the time, making it clear that we would not allow or accept the government prohibiting us from worship, because we never stopped worshiping. You know what? I give praise. We pivoted on the dot to go digital. Things were already in place. And then we continued to worship. And then as soon as we possibly could come back reasonably to worship at the end of May, we worshiped in person outside. And then in the fall, we came back inside. And again, I just give so much praise to God for all those things. And I also thank God in advance for what I think he's going to do in the future. I can't see what he's going to do, but I know we have a comeback team. And we're planning on what church is going to look like, whatever the new normal is going to be, what church is going to look like. And that is exciting to me too. And I thank God for that. So when I look back at COVID-19, yeah, I'm going to remember some of those hurts I shared with you. Yes, I'm going to remember the struggles and the uncertainty and what's going to happen in this world. And I know some people hurt way more than I did. So to them, they don't look at this as good at all. But for me, the good outweighs the bad. For me, the blessing of family, the blessing of faith, the blessing of the church, the blessing of working with people so closely to make sure that we didn't miss anything, to make sure that we continued to advance the gospel and continued to connect with the community. We did trunk or treat. We did it safely. We did a huge gathering at Christmas time, the Christmas Spectacular. And it was a great success for our community. People were so grateful that we provided something. And then finally this year, we're going to meet in person for Easter worship, even in the midst of it still going on, even though it looks like we're coming out of this thing. You know, and I don't know what the next couple weeks, I know people are getting frustrated the next couple months what it's going to look like. But I just continue to step forward knowing that God has blessed me through this. And he's blessed all of us through this. So I know there's not many people out there in the audience today. And I'm sorry for the digital issues with the internet. And again, things you can't control, right? Whenever you do a live show, things are going to happen. But I want to thank you, my audience. Of the whole 4 or 5 of you, since people probably got frustrated in the first 10 minutes of the program not showing. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your faithfulness. I want to thank you for being here daily with me. Word of encouragement was a way for me to share during coronavirus and during COVID over this last year. It was a way for me to stay connected to whoever wanted to stay connected. I mean, obviously, not everybody wants to come and listen to word of encouragement. Obviously, not everybody made this a priority in their life. But I think slowing down enough and then doing this program, it was good for me. I hope it was good for you too. And so when I look back at all of that, I want you to hear what I've said. I know all of you have different experiences, but I hope your faith has increased. I hope you've grown closer to your family. I hope you've grown more appreciative of life. I hope you've grown more appreciative of the church. I hope you've grown more appreciative of your pastor. I hope, you've started to see things maybe you didn't see before. Maybe coming back when life gets busy again, maybe your priorities will be different now. Maybe you won't let your life be pulled away to where church and God and faith and family get put on back burners, but that you will now prioritize your life differently. Those are blessings that can come out of this. I hope that maybe we see things differently now. Some people have not. Some people didn't get it. Some people missed it. Some people got caught up in the hype. Some people got caught up in the arguments of mask and virus and vaccines and violence and all that took place. All those things that took place. And I walked through those things too, and so did you. We all lived those things, right? And the election. I mean, we all walked through all of those things together in life. But I look back at it, And I thank God now. I don't thank God for the bad that happened, but I thank God for the opportunities that happened. And I thank God for the blessing of slowing us down. So shame on us if we come back and we just return to how it always was. Shame on us if we don't learn to slow down. Shame on us if we don't learn to say, church and family, they're always going to come first. Because God is over my family and because God's over my church. And that's just going to be my top priority now. I hope that Corona, COVID, whatever we end up calling it forever, I hope it's taught you those lessons. I hope you've learned those things. I know I have. The blessings of a meal together with family, the blessings of walking down the street with my family, the blessings of spending more time with the Lord and not letting the clock demand my attention, but just the moment with God. The blessings of having to be creative and having to be put in a lot of hours for a good product. It's all been worth it. It's all been worth it. And so, where I know some people will never look back and see blessings, they'll only see the curse of this moment. They'll only see, instead of the blessing, they'll see the plague or the virus and all the bad that happened. But I see good that happened through it. And I just want to thank God today for that. As we've been at this for a year now. Hard to believe. And I hope that in the near future, this will be behind us and we'll be moving forward. I am ready for that. I am ready for that. And I hope you are too. Hey, again, I apologize. Some of you may come back and see this later on. I apologize again that wasn't able to get more of an audience going today. But those of you that did join me, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And again, thank you for being faithful to Word of Encouragement. Remember these two things. God loves you, and so do I. That you stay safe and stay strong. And I'll see you back here tomorrow at noon. God bless.